Hello, hello, hello. Bitsy Lou Hoo, how are you? We just happy to be here tonight. Are you worn out from having them grandbabies? I'd be ready for a nap if I were you. And I get my babies and I'm just like zombified once they leave. I'm just positively worn out. Nina's wrapping up a takeover. If you're having problems finding a chat button, you may have to subscribe to my channel in order to chat. Sometimes it'll make you do that. And the chat button's also in different places, depending on whether you're looking at a phone or computer. Well, you could have been busy promoting these. Hey, Miss Tiffany. T.A. How are you? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. My days just seem to be getting longer and longer and longer. And my nights are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Y'all ready for this tonight? So it's going to be good. Definitely not part of our norm. Swing your butt off. Is it still hot up there? You got up to 90 here today. So I know Vincey's been sweating her butt off today. She's had her grandsons today, so she's hot. And Nina's always hot. I mean, she could be standing in the middle of a snowstorm and still be hot. She's wrapping up a takeover, so she'll be a little bit late. But I cannot quit yawning. I need to go to bed. Too much to do. Short time to get it done. Mm-mm-mm. There she is. Audie! Nina's power went out. She had a squirrel in her tower this morning or something. I don't know. One of my squirrels got loose down there, I think. And knocked her power out for about half a day today. She texts me fussing up a storm. No AC. Sometimes, I actually prefer fans over AC. AC will absolutely freeze me to death. Where is my. Okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. Or you may have to check on Miss Rachael. I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got a fourth person out there. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's her or not. So, alrighty. So let's go ahead and get started here. So, this is the cover. Don't just ignore the crack in the screen there. It's not actually my tablet, it's in my screen protector. So, carnal knowledge. This is a whodunit. Gonna get you. You're not gonna want to sleep tonight in the dark. Okay. It isn't long after I pick up my drink from the table that I feel it. Something is wrong. It's only been one drink. Was it extra strong? When did I eat last? My head grows fuzzy and spins. The thumping music in the club sounding far away. I grip the table, struggling to focus as I search the crowd for my friend Lily, but I can't find her. I can't focus on faces. I close my eyes, stumbling on my high heels. I wasn't supposed to be drinking. I figured no one would know as long as I don't drive. Where is Lily? Probably off dancing. She was supposed to be watching my drink. I stumble again, but this time a strong arm catches me. I catch a whiff of cigarettes, beer, and a strong cologne. Must be a man. The thought is vague, yet matter of fact. Even as my thinking processes dull and slow, I realize I'm not drunk. This is something else. This is wrong. I'm too fuzzy to be scared, yet I feel my heart pounding. I should be afraid. I didn't come with a man tonight. I don't know any men here. No one should be touch me. Don't touch me. I try to make my mouth form the words, but I can't. The muscles just won't cooperate. I try to look at him, but my eyes won't focus. My head is just so heavy. I make out his shape, vague and dark. Whoa there, beautiful. His voice is laughing and strange. I don't know him. Nothing there I recognize. Is he laughing at me? I don't care. Suddenly, so sleepy. I open my mouth to speak again, but only slurred, stuttered speech comes out that makes no sense even to my own ears. He holds me up, leaning close to my ear. It's okay. I'm not going to let you fall, baby. The tears blur my vision, but I can still see the red stain on the floor, muddled by the water that drips from my eyes. I drag my hand under my nose, looking at the splattered mess around me. Standing, I stare at the sheets. More red. The blankets are ripped, the sheets half off the bed. The bed lamp is on the floor. My phone screen is shattered. Not knowing what else to do, I gather the linens from the bed and walk them down the hall, stuffing them into my washing machine before starting the load. I gathered the Clorox bleach spray and a wad of paper towels to clean the wood laminate floor. It takes a while, but now it looks normal again. The blood is gone. Normal except for the bare mattress and the bleach smell. By this time, I'm almost brave enough to look down. My tears are gone, my vision clear. I've been terrified to look, scared that I'm the source of blood, a wound I can't face or maybe can't feel somewhere that might have caused this mess. I look down at my body, naked, spattered. I see no cuts, no anything that would suggest blood loss of this magnitude. My head hurts now, so much that I can't concentrate enough to be afraid or think on what the last thing I remember is, or how I got here, who I might have been, who I might have brought home with me. The answers to the questions that the police would ask if I were to go to them, which I won't. Blood is drying on my thighs. I didn't go to bed naked. I don't even remember going to bed or coming home. But that's where I woke up, though I didn't even know I went to sleep or passed out or whatever the hell this is. I gingerly touched the back of my head, feeling the growing lump there. My blonde hair feels matted, tangled. It must be the source of the headache. The blood is mine, I think. The pain I have tells me that at least some of it is probably mine. I have no idea what happened. You really don't know how you feel about some things until they happen to you. You can guess. You can pretend you'd be strong, that you'd stand on the rooftops and shout your indignation as you shake your fist to the skies, but those are only guesses, hopes. What we think we know about ourselves, they say no one ever really knows anyway. I think it would be a safe bet to say that we don't really know ourselves either. You think you do? Oh, I'd never do that. Look at how she's acting. If I were in her shoes, but you don't. No one does. I said the same things to myself when I walked out on my husband Ricky months ago. Those thoughts went through my head as I closed the door behind me for what I told myself was the last time. I wouldn't let myself cry as I said goodbye to him, only feeling the first tears fall when I heard the click behind me, the locking of the door to what used to be our home together, when he didn't chase me and beg me to stay. I wept in that moment, wondering how much pain a person could take. Over the days that followed, it faded into something more akin to numbness as I found an apartment and got a new checking account, as I arranged to find movers to get my things while he was at work, all while thanking God that we had no children. Now I find myself in that place once more, though for an altogether different reason. Something has happened to me, something that leaves my body sore and my head feeling as if I have a hangover. These are the moments that tell you who you really are, leaving you exposed to your own darkness. I found that out about myself. No one ever imagines themselves in this position. You're not prepared. No amount of self-defense can prepare you for for the shock that is the next morning, waking up in a bloody mess, knowing you've been sexually assaulted. I can't even say it aloud. I won't. I refuse to do it. It makes it real, and I don't want it to be real. I want it to be some horrible nightmare that I can wake up from, but it's not. It's the middle of the night. I'm sitting on the floor of my shower, the water finally not running pink anymore. My face feels puffy from crying as I carefully wash the wounds, the soap burning. I wince and then stand up before the water turns cold. Sitting here won't accomplish anything. I look down at the mark on my left breast, swollen and purple, the definite outline of teeth, broken skin, tender to touch. It's not the only place I'm hurting, but it's the only one I can easily see. The only one I can't really hide from. It's a slap in the face, a calling card from someone I can't remember, a face that won't ever haunt my dreams. So, what do I do now? It's about 4 a.m. Do I call someone? The police? My friend Lily? My husband? Maybe Alex? Surely she would believe me. I blink away tears, dipping my head back into the hot spray to wash the blood out of my hair. No, I won't tell anyone. It's too embarrassing, too humiliating. This big foreboding thing happened to me. What they warned us all about. My drink was tampered with and someone hurt me. I broke the rules and I got this for it. I should have listened, I suppose. I feel sick knowing what someone did to me while I was asleep. Or was I? Maybe I did fight and just can't remember. I'd fight, surely. I wouldn't just lie there and take it, right? The thought gives me some minimal sliver of peace, like passing through the eye of a hurricane. You know it's not real, not the end, but you relish it just the same. By the time I get out of the shower, I realize I haven't really slept. My alarm will go off at 7 for work so I can catch the bus and be on time for the morning meeting. I could get 3 hours of sleep before that, maybe. I shut off the water, suddenly a bit afraid. Knowing someone was here gives me the creeps, makes me wish I'd gotten that gun Ricky tried so hard to get me to agree to, the one I refused. I wouldn't give in, fearing some horrible accident. He kept his locked up, and I never bothered to learn to shoot. He begged to teach me, tried to get me to hold his Glock to get the feel of it. Nope, now I regret it. In the months I've lived here, I haven't been afraid to be on my own until now. Someone got to me. I'm without defense in my own home. Maybe I should get a dog or something. I slip the towel over my skin, careful to pat my breast. I rub the towel gently through my hair, mindful of the wound, and then I rummage for a bandage. I find something that will do and cover the offending mark with neosporin gauze I have left over tape I have left over after skinning my shin sliding into third at last summer's company softball game. Back in my room, I cringe, the bare bed terrifying me. I quickly grab a pair of shorts and a shirt and leave the room, shutting the door behind me with a slam. I opt for the couch with the TV on cartoons and a pillow clutched to my chest. I manage to fall asleep under my granny's handmade afghan with my eyes darting between the door and the TV, wishing for the first time in a while that Ricky was here. That was 2 weeks ago. I only got into my bedroom to change. I only go into my bedroom to change now. I've been sleeping on the couch since that night. Of course, I use the word sleep in the loosest terms. Not really sleep, but something akin to it, I suppose. There are dreams, but it's anything but restful. I wake up scared, feeling like someone is watching me and unsure that I slept at all. I know it's because I didn't deal with it, because I'm afraid. That knowledge doesn't help me sleep any better. I've picked up the phone to call Ricky twice, but memories of coming home and finding out there was someone else stops me. The, Im- the imagined visions of him inside another woman trump any fear I have. He let me go, refused to fight for me, and only offered weak apologies. Why would I think he would protect me or even care? I always toss the phone aside without calling. I almost think maybe I need to tell someone. I even try to work up the courage to tell Lily. But I just can't be sure that she wouldn't blame me or tell everyone or even stop calling me altogether to hang out. We work together. She's a paralegal in the law firm where I work as an assistant to one of the partners, and she's nice, but we just aren't that close. So dropping a bomb like this on her just doesn't seem to fit. She's the one who dragged me out, insisting I needed to get out of the house. The next day after it happened, when she asked me where I went, I told her I couldn't find her and figured she'd met someone, so I went home. I assumed the same thing. We've got to be more careful. She wagged her finger at me, using a mock fatherly tone, and we both giggled. I laughed then, didn't know what else to do. I felt like such an idiot. I thought I'd been careful. It was then that I decided that I needed to just forget about it, take it away, live in denial. I don't know what happened and I never will. The mark is gone and I can forget now. I don't think denial is such a bad place to live. Chapter 2. Pretend it never happened. Hey, Wren, hot stuff wants to see you. Lily hisses through the door of my cubicle. I look up into her green eyes and find she's stifling a laugh. Hot stuff is what she likes to call Doug Larson. He's the newest and youngest senior partner at 47. Handsome for his age, and the rumors fly around the office about him and his prowess with the ladies. Tells that he's dipped his pen into the company ink, if you know what I mean. I know better than to believe rumors, but sometimes that's easier said than done. Why? I glanced at the clock, almost 2. I don't know. I was just in there and he said to send you in. Maybe he wants you to take dictation. She laughs. I smile, offering a chuckle. You're so dirty. I stand up, slipping my high heels back onto my feet. I know, but he really is hot for an old guy, don't you think? He's not old. She shrugs. He's old enough. True. Mr. Larson's office is huge, of course, all glass and metal, cold yet beautiful. The click of my heels on the hard floor of the hall is silenced by thick plush carpet once I cross the threshold. I close the door and glance around. He's not at his desk, a monstrous thing with distressed dark wood surrounded by matching suede furniture. It smells like leather, a scent I love, but in here it somehow always makes me antsy. Ren, Ren, do you want a drink? I hear him ask. A drink? I stifle a scoff, finding him at a hideaway bar of sorts in the far corner. He's pouring something clear from a decanter over ice. No, thank you. I got a drug and alcohol test with my probation officer this afternoon, but he doesn't know that. He turns his blue eyes my way, smiling. You sure? A handsome man, no doubt. A man with money and taste. I bet no one ever tells him no. A man who knows how to get his way. Who's good at what he does, and the women fall all over him. He's all these things in my imagination, of course. In real life, I have no idea. He could be some blundering, clumsy nerd for all I know. I don't see it since I wasn't asked to. Doug walks up to me, drink in hand, eyes on me. He takes a sip, then sets it on his desk. His hand is cool from the glass when he touches my elbow. My dear, I have a proposal for you. Next week, I'm going to a conference for 3 days and I need an assistant while I'm there. It's in San Francisco. I'd like you to come with me, all expenses paid, of course, and you'd be working, so I'd pay you 24 hours a day while we're there. Oh, crap. I swallow, wishing I had the drink right about now. A trip with him. Now I need the money. And how bad could it be, really? The $5 I have in my bank account could really use the company. Maybe he's not like they say. Even if he is, surely I would avoid letting anything happen, right? But what if he got mad? If I get fired, I could go to jail. Having a job is a condition of my probation. But maybe he's really a cool guy. Who knows? Who cares if he's 47 and I'm only 26? There's also the fact that maybe he really does just want me to work. Considering the type of women I've seen him go for in the past, thin, classy, beautiful, I don't quite fit the bill in my size 12 suit. A tight 12 at that. Sure, maybe I have a pretty face, but still. Of course, there's also the sexual harassment thing, the ace in my back pocket just in case he was to try something. But when you really think about it, how often does that, if you want your job, you'll give me what I want, ultimatum happen outside the old 80s TV shows? Next week? He nods, his hand drifting from my elbow down to my hand. Yes, starting Monday. We leave Sunday night, get back sometime Thursday, depending on how it goes. I could give you the rest of the week off paid. I look up into his eyes. He licks his thin lips and holds my gaze. Do you have a reason why you can't go? No. No, I don't. I need my job. I need the money, not enough to sleep with him, but I can't avoid that, I'm sure. I doubt any of the rumors are true anyway. I'm most likely just jumping to conclusions. My brain going into full on paranoia mode after 2 weeks of no sleep. His smile is broad. Good. We'll get together Saturday for dinner to discuss the details before the trip. I'll pick you up. He winks at me. Yes, sir. I agree softly, then leave his office. As soon as I get to my desk, I start to message Lily, who I heard slept with him before, even though I know she doesn't know I know. Of course, I don't even know if it's true. Then I think better of it, slide the phone aside, and try to get back to work. Alex is my probation officer. She's in her mid 30s, I think, though I can't be sure based on her looks alone. She's on the phone, motioning for me to sit down in the chair by her desk, a Naugahyde thing that probably came with the office when she got the position. Her long, loose, dark hair falls into her face, hiding chocolate brown eyes as she bends to the left to pull out a clear plastic cup with a yellow lid and a sealed plastic bag. She hands it to me, her bronze skin stark in comparison to my pale hand when I lean forward and take it from her. She points to the bathroom across the hall and then keeps talking as I stand up. I think she's supposed to watch me, but she hasn't since the first time, thank God. Nothing quite compares to having someone you hardly know watch you pee. I walk out and into the bathroom. It's small with only 3 stalls and one of those wall things that sprays air freshener at timed intervals so it smells of vanilla or some other generically pleasant odor. I managed to fill the cup and not get any on me, then head back to the office. She's off the phone now, and I set the deposit on the corner of her desk. With a smile, she labels it, seals it, and puts it on the desk behind her. I assume I'm supposed to see her do this so I can't accuse her of tampering with it and something. How are you, Ren? She pulls out a form, tapping a pen on the table as she meets my eye. Her voice is rough, sultry even. Sort of like, oh, okay. How are you, Ren? She pulls out a form, tapping a pen on the table as she meets my eye. Her voice is rough, sultry even, sort of like Kathleen Turner from movies I used to watch as a kid, Romancing the Stone and all that. I'm doing okay. Nothing special, I shrug. Being a good girl? She teases with a wink, standing. Come with me. Of course, I'm an angel. I snort. She glances over her shoulder, laughing lightly as if she knows what I mean, as if she's no angel herself. I know where we're going as I follow her out of the office and down the hall, then through an unmarked door to an intoxilizer, the kind of machine that the police use to check your alcohol level. You know the drill, she states. Of course, I pass 0. We head back to the office where she signs the form and I watch her send my pee down the hall for a drug test. When am I supposed to come back? I showed her my purse and watched her grab her planner from the corner of the desk, turning pages with medium length manicured nails in a bright blue. I have you down for the 10th. I expect everyone will come back fine. I expect everything will come back fine, so I won't call you unless there's a problem. Behave and call me if you need me. She turns her attention to the computer. Time for me to go. Thanks. See you next time, Alex. As I walk out, my phone goes off. I fish it out of the side pocket of my purse to find that Lily is texting me. Lily, hey, my old college roommate having a big party tonight. You have to come with me. I don't want to look like a loser going alone. Me, you going to abandon me this time? Seems like I could get away with a party since I just took my drug and alcohol test. Maybe a drink or two won't hurt me this time. Lily, no, not unless you want me to. She knows some hot guys. Me, hot guys? But it's a work night. We have to be up early. Lily, so don't get drunk, dummy. And yes, hot guys, you're coming with me. I haven't even thought about men like that since. I shake it away. I won't let it get to me. I decide not to remember that I still don't sleep in my own bed. Even before that happened, I didn't dare to step out into the dating world, being unsure of myself after Ricky's indiscretion, plus still feeling married and like I would be doing something wrong. Always top the thoughts dead in my tracks. But you're supposed to go to get back on the horse, right? Back in the saddle, so to speak. Hours later, in a big house full of strangers, Lily urges me toward every hot guy she sees. I sip on a very weak rum and coke and remind myself that she has no idea what happened to me only 2 weeks ago. When she asks me why I'm not drinking more, I make excuses, mostly reminding her that we work tomorrow. She downs her second, then a third, and I wonder if I'll end up taking her home. Turning, meaning to find a place to set my empty cup, I end up getting my foot crunched under someone's boot. Ow! I shout, figuring the music covers me anyway. Only then do I look up at a wall of a body. Shit, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Ask a deep, apologetic voice. A voice I know. A voice that speaks to me, to something deep inside me. His familiar scent, spicy and warm, evokes memories that draw my eyes up to see if it really is who I think it is. Our eyes meet at the same time, and silence falls between us. Ricky, my husband. He has on the Motley Crue t-shirt I got for him, nice jeans, and heavy boots that just crushed my now throbbing left foot. He has on his wedding ring, which shocks me more than the fact that I'm looking at him for the first time since I walked out. He's sober and standing alone. His eyes are clear and bright, shining a sharp gray. His hair is longer, shaggy, and light brown. It looks good, suits him. I always loved it when he wore his hair like this. Ricky. His name comes out soft, almost erotic, though I don't mean for it to. What are you doing here? He looks me over slowly. Killing time, mostly. He shrugs. Buck invited me to come hang out, so here I am. Buck. Not a bad guy, one of his oldest friends. He is here to meet a woman. Does he have a girlfriend? Did they break up? Is she waiting back at home for him? In my home? Did he move her in? Questions race through my mind along with confusing emotions. Words seem to get stuck in my mind. It's odd to look at the face of a man you know so well and be at a loss for words. What are you doing here? He asks, filling the silence when I don't. Oh, I came with Lily. My mind flashes back to the night, which is when I got my DWI. I was so hurt and angry that I stopped and got drunk, then got behind the wheel. I backed into a parked police cruiser in the parking lot of the bar across the street from the hotel I was going to stay at. My first and only arrest, and I still blame him. He drove me to become the worst part of myself. Lily? He furrows his brow, but then recognition seems to fill his eyes. Oh, I remember her from your office. I nod, shoving my hands into my back pockets. I want to know about her, but I can't ask. I don't want to hear the answers. Yeah, she dragged me out. You work tomorrow, don't you? I nod and he smirks at me. I nod and he smirks at me. Come with me. I'll get you a drink. He offers his hand to me, but I stare at it as if it's a trap. Do I take it? Does it mean anything? What will it feel like to touch him again? I swallow, looking into his eyes. Is he conflicted too? Confused? Does he still love me? Do I still love him? I finally take his hand. It feels the same, familiar, gentle, hot, home. He's still home. It gives me a twisted sense of peace to touch him again, to be dragged carefully behind him through the crowd at a party toward a bar, to be handed an open beer, my favorite because he knows me. I haven't gone for a divorce yet, haven't been able to bring myself to do it. I don't know why I'm bidding my time. Maybe I can't bring myself to let go, to believe it. I married him at 20. For 6 years, he was my world. I adored him. Even when he pulled away, I made excuses to myself. Walking out the door on him was the hardest thing I ever did. Now I'm standing in the middle of a stranger's kitchen drinking a beer with him. What the hell am I doing? The beer is ice cold, it's good, and I fill my mouth with it, then lick it off my lips before taking another sip. He's watching me. I feel his eyes. I look up and see a quiet smile, the silent words in his eyes, and wonder if I see what's really there or simply what my heart wants to see. I'd like to talk, he says. Can we? Can we? She was young, maybe 20, maybe not. Her brown hair was pulled into a tight ponytail that was quite long, telling me her hair was probably almost to her waist. With a look of indignation on her face and fear in her eyes, she stood on my doorstep staring at me. I had no idea who she was. I smiled, leaning on the doorframe. Can I help you? She glanced around, then back to me. A deep breath puffed up her ample chest. Are you Ren, Ricky's wife? I nodded. I am. Is there something wrong? She clutched her shoulder bag tightly with one trembling hand. Yes, something is wrong. I snapped back to the present, freshly angered by the memory, recalling what she told me on my doorstep, seeing him pull up in his truck and seeing his face through the windshield, staring at us before getting out slowly and just standing there, staring at me, mouthing, I'm so sorry to me. Can we talk? I echo. No. I turned, walking away from him with tears in my eyes, ashamed of how I still feel for him, wishing I could hate him, yet knowing I never really can, loathing the fact that I want him back, along with my life, those moments with him that created days that built into weeks and months and years. But no, no life with the man I chose for me. No, ma'am. I hear his voice behind me calling me, but I keep walking. It's not until I reach the front porch that he stops me with a gentle grip of my arm. Let me go, I say without turning. We have to talk at some point. I don't look at him. Instead, I pull my arm away and fish my phone out of my pocket, telling Lily that I need to leave. I call for an Uber and tell Ricky I'm going home. I won't talk to him. What is there to say? Another, I'm sorry, that it was a mistake, some stupid excuse. He releases a swear, blown out on a breath, then goes back inside, leaving me alone on the porch. I sit down on the stoop, glad no one is with me. I don't feel like explaining what it's like to hate someone you love so much. Chapter 3. Again. The kind of blackness that drowns swallows me. Heavy eyelids, so heavy I can't open them. The crushing feeling of being pressed into the mattress, held down, something wet dribbling on my skin. I try to scream, try to lash out, but I can't. So heavy. I think it's a dream when I wake up. What else could it be? Curled in blankets, sweating, I realize I'm late for work and bolt out of bed. Shaming myself for going out on a work night. I didn't stay, but I was up half the night, upset over seeing Ricky again. I forgot to set my alarm, I guess. Dashing for the shower, it isn't until after I've washed my hair that I look down and see it. I want to scream, but my throat locks up. I want to run, but I can't run for myself. So I just stand there, my chest heaving as I stare down at the thing that laughs at me and brings water to my eyes and whimper to my throat. How could this be possible? A fresh bite mark, same breast, same broken skin, same bruising. Fuck. Tears burn my eyes as I touch it, wincing. It hurts a lot. I reach into my mind for anything and find only the dream of being crushed in the dark. He came back. It wasn't a dream. I rinse off and wrap a towel around my still dripping hair, then head into my bedroom. No blood this time. Last night was the first time I dared to try to sleep in here, telling myself that I was silly to be so scared. And now here I am. I wonder if someone is watching me. How else could he know that I slept in here last night? He couldn't, right? Just a coincidence. Nothing strange, nothing out of the place. Grabbing another towel, I start to rub it over my hair as I walk around the apartment. The door is locked, as are the windows. No one has a key to my apartment but me. What on earth happened? I wasn't even drunk last night. This can't be reality, can it? But someone is watching me, is the only answer. Not knowing what to do, what to think, I dress as I cry. How could it have happened again? How could he do something like this to me and not even wake me up? As I change, I look down at my body again, checking for anything that might be wrong, different. The bruise is so tiny, I would have missed it right in the crook of my arm, a needle mark. He got me again. Shit. What did he give me? Was it the same as last time? I start to shake as I pick up my blouse and slip it on. Cool satin over my skin. I feel fine. No hint of a hangover of any sort this time. Whatever it was, it wore off fast. Would anyone even believe me if I called someone? Lily, the police? Who does someone talk to about something like this? Hey, I had a bad dream and then woke up with this. They would laugh me out of the police station. I wish my mom were here. She would know what to do. I stand in my kitchen thinking and arguing with myself. What is the next most logical step that won't make me a laughing stock? I've got to get an alarm for my door or something. Maybe change my locks. That should do it, right? If it happens again, I will tell someone. I promise myself. Setting my orange juice glass on the counter, I look around, making plans. I'll take a long lunch today and go to Home Depot to get some kind of alarm for my door. Something I can afford that isn't a monthly subscription. At least it'll make a noise and scare him off. As I walk out the door, I struggle not to wonder. Did he do it again? Was I sexually assaulted a second time? I don't feel anything strange, not sore or bruised. I shake it away, refusing to let the idea sink in. But then, why would he come back? I walk out of Home Depot with this little thingy that sticks to a door or window and will sound an alarm if it's open. I got one for the front door, all of my windows, and even my bedroom door. I feel better as I get into the back of the Uber to head back to work, grateful the driver is a woman since I'm a bit shy of strangers right now. I called the front office when they opened and my locks are being changed while I'm at work today. Everything should be okay. An hour after I return to the office, I'm elbow deep in my to-do pile when Doug walks into my cubicle and plops down in my little chair. I look up, surprised that he came to me instead of vice versa. I stop typing and try to smile. Mr. Larson, what can I do for you? Ren, I'm right in the middle of 10 things, and I was hoping you might do me a little favor this afternoon. His bright blue eyes smile, almost twinkling at me, standing out against his tan skin and his dark brown hair. He has to know he's handsome, right? Knows women think so? Hell, I think so, and he's quite a bit older than I am. What would that be? He leans forward and puts his keys on the desk in front of me. I need you to take my car to the shop. It's acting up. I'll send an Uber to pick you up. I stare at his keys, unsure of what to do. I'm not supposed to be driving, but I'd rather risk it than have anyone here find out. I don't want to deal with the stares or lose my job over one stupid mistake. Yeah, sure. Send the info to my phone. A few minutes later, I slide into a luxury vehicle that I would never be able to afford. It's been a few months since I got behind the wheel of a car. I sit in his BMW, the soft leather cradling my butt. The scent of his cologne is on everything in here, and while not an unpleasant smell at all, I roll down the window anyway. Fresh air hits my face, and I breathe it in. I pull out of the parking garage, careful to look both ways. It happens out of nowhere. I don't see it coming, just feel it. Sudden impact, pain, the crash of metal, broken glass. My head hurts. Blood drips into my eyes. My vision blurs. God, my head hurts. No, 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 no. That just didn't happen. I throw the car door open, noting the steam, or is it smoke, coming from the crumpled hood of my boss's car. Shit. Head on collision. The opposing vehicle fared better, being a huge pickup truck. The driver gets out as I try to stand up but fail, tumbling to the hot pavement and skinning my knee. Shit, are you okay? God, I'm so sorry. The woman falls to her knees beside me, touching my head with one hand and dialing 911 with the other. I want to stop her, tell her not to call, but I can't focus enough to get the words out of my mouth. All I can think of is the fact that my boss will fire me and I'm going to end up in jail for violating my probation. Sirens, flashing lights, and heavy boots on concrete, paramedics offering soft words of comfort as they put gentle pressure on the bleeding. An officer scribbles down my information just as the medics load me into the back of an ambulance despite my protest. I need to make phone calls. Then the world goes black. I wake in the hospital. The light is bright, even through drawn curtains. It peeks around the edges and illuminates the room. I'm lying in a bed, blanket covering me, bandage on my head. I look around and see a heavy-set woman in scrubs messing with my IV, pushing buttons. Why am I here? I struggle to sit up, my head heavy, suddenly throbbing. I moan out a strange noise, and she turns to me, offering a frown, telling me to take it easy, calling me sweetie. What happened? You have a mild concussion. Your memory might be a bit. As she's talking, adjusting me, I remember the crash, my boss's car now crumpled, the ambulance, everything. I groan, suddenly feeling heavy. Then panic sets in. I crashed his car. What if he fires me? What if Alex finds out? She could send me to prison for violating my probation. I've worked at this firm for about 3 years now. Plus, what if they find out that I have a DWI? The whole thing happened that weekend. After that woman showed up on my doorstep, a 3-day weekend that thankfully kept my coworkers from finding out what had happened. Lily doesn't even know. When she asked me, I told her my car broke down and it cost so much to fix that I decided not to mess with it. And I couldn't afford a car payment now that I was on my own. She bought it. Why wouldn't she? I come back to reality. Concussion, memory loss, headaches. Take it easy. Don't move too fast. Nausea. I pick up all the key words while I try to look like I know what's going on and that I'm paying attention. Between strangers drugging me, my husband, and now this, I don't have much room left in my brain. But her next words catch my full attention. We called your husband. He's on his way. Shit. They called Ricky. He's still my emergency contact. That's one of those little details you don't really think to change. Damn it. I can't fault them, but now I have. The door burst open and he stands there for a moment, eyes darting back and forth. He's pale and wearing khaki pants and a polo shirt with the Police Academy logo on the pocket. I am surprised not to see him in his patrol uniform, but then again, it's been so long since we spoke that I'm not surprised to find myself clueless. Wild eyes settle on me, and a visible relief passes over his features as he steps in, letting the door close behind him. What happened? They only told me you were in an accident and had a head injury. Are you okay? I left as soon as I could. I look at him as he approaches the edge of my bed. He touches my head gingerly, so lightly I hardly feel it except for now his fingertips brush my forehead. What happened? He asks again. The nurse walks out without saying anything else, leaving me with him. My boss asked me to take his car to the shop and I got into an accident. I explained. She said I have a concussion. Damn, how do you feel? I look up into worried gray eyes. I don't know yet. I'm still feeling a little fuzzy. The nurse walks back in. Ma'am, I forgot to tell you that the police are here to speak with you. The detective has been waiting for you to wake up. Detective, police, that sense of foreboding comes back, and I look at Ricky, who has a frown and a furrowed brow. At one time, his disapproval would have hurt me very much. His frown, the way he would shake his head and look away, would have had me rushing to find a way to show him that I wasn't the disappointment that he surely thought I was. Not now. That's gone. He's the cause of the damn thing, so why would I care? I never would have drunk like that and then been so stupid if not for what he did. I thank the nurse and then look away from him, pretending to examine my hospital bracelet, adjust my blankets. Why is there a detective here? I shrug. I hope it's not because I drove without a valid license. I doubt they would have sent a detective for that. I guess we'll find out. It isn't long before someone's knocking on my door, opening it before I have a chance to reply. Ricky has taken the only chair in the room, having dragged it to my bedside. A large, round man who looks close to 50 steps inside the room with a gun belt on, handcuffs dangling. He wears dress pants and a shirt and tie. His badge on his belt, shiny gold against the black leather. Pardon me, I'm Detective Martin Small. I was hoping to speak to you for a moment. He pulls out a card and hands it to me. Sure, what is this about? His eyes dart to my companion. I'm sure you probably know Ricky. I don't care if he's here for whatever this is. I sigh, suddenly tired. The men shake hands. Hey, Ricky, good to know you. Good to see you. I was sorry to see you quit. How is the academy treating you? The detective nods at him, then pulls out a little notepad and a pen as he speaks. Ricky glances at me, aware that I don't know, that I will have questions, assuming that I care. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. It was a rough decision to make, but I think for now I'm better suited to teaching for our future boys in blue than actually being one. Maybe in the future I can come back. So he quit. I wonder what happened. I don't ask, just turn my attention back to the detective. He looks away from Ricky with a sobering, serious expression on his face. Mrs. Addison, he turns to me. The hospital staff called me because they were concerned that you'd been assaulted due to a mark on your person. They discovered it during your exam in the emergency room and stated that it wasn't caused by your accident today. He isn't asking me a question, but stops talking and waits regardless, as if he's expecting something from me. I breathe in and out, deliberate and slow, stay calm. They know, they saw it. Ricky is now sitting up in his seat, paying attention. He goes on when I don't respond. The mark in question is a bite mark on your chest. It's infected and pretty fresh, they told me. Can you tell me what happened? Did someone do this to you? Was it consensual? I sit up too fast, sparking a dull thud in the back of my throat. It most certainly was not. Why would I consent to being bitten like this? I remark. He shows no emotion, no reaction, a face of stone. Mrs. Addison, I don't like to make presumptions about people's extracurricular activities. I make no judgment. Were you assaulted? He pulls out his phone and proceeds to show me a picture of the bite on my chest, as if I'd never seen it before. I bite back a comment on the fact that he felt the need to shove a picture in my face, wishing that I'd kicked Ricky out of here. I assume it was taken by someone in the ER. What happened to HIPAA laws? Can they even do that without my permission? I swallow, knowing my emotions are misplaced, that it really doesn't matter. Ricky stands peering over between us and looks up at me. What the fuck is this? I guess my emotions aren't the only ones that are misplaced. It's a bite mark, I say quietly, barely reining in my sarcasm. He looks at the detective, incredulous. What the hell happened here? Someone bit my wife? Suddenly, I'm his wife again? I almost laugh at that one. That's what I'm trying to find out, he says coolly. I lie back, unsure of what to say. I suppose the truth, but laying all that out isn't something I expected to do. I could lie, but I've never been much of a liar. I can't keep my story straight, and my face always gives me away. Yes, someone did assault me, but I don't know who, I say after a long moment. Both men stare at me, one flatly scribbling, and the other with his mouth gaping open. After a deep breath, I tell them what happened both 2 weeks ago and this morning. I show Small the needle mark in my arm. After I get it all out, I pull the covers up higher, hoping it'll hide me from Ricky's pissed off, indignant, "Why didn't you tell me?" glare. But it doesn't. He closes his mouth and sits down heavily, his head in one hand. "I presume you didn't see a doctor 2 weeks ago for the sexual assault?" Small asks. I shake my head. I, I need to have a rape kit done on you just in case. It's not a question. I wonder if I can decline, but I know better than to try. I just nod, not speaking. "I appreciate your honesty, ma'am. I'm going to write up a report. I'll order the rape kit and we'll be in touch. If something else happens or you think of anything, you can call me at that number." He points to the card I set on the table. "Thank you." "Martin, can I talk to you in the hall?" Ricky stands up, ready to follow him out. Small nods, letting him lead the way. My curiosity is almost enough to get me out of bed to open the door and intrude on their conversation, so obviously about me. I sit up and mute the TV, straining to hear, hoping they might be just outside the door. Now I wish I'd asked Ricky to leave. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have made him go. Damn it! The door opens only moments later, and Ricky comes back alone, looking upset, if not full on anger. "What the ever loving fuck, Ren?" He's not yelling, but there's a surprising amount of pain in his words. He doesn't look at me, instead, leaning back in the chair after he sits down, casting his gaze heavenward. "You were sexually assaulted 2 weeks ago? Why didn't I tell you? You can't possibly be so stupid as to ask me that question. You haven't been a part of my life for months. Why would I call you?" "We're still married. You think I don't care? You think I wouldn't show up to protect you, help you? Come on." He looks at me now and it hurts, staring into eyes that I loved, that I still love, and that hurt me so terribly still stings. "Why would I want you to, after what you did?" My voice starts to quiver, but I steady it. "How can you think that I'd just pick up the phone and tell you something like that?" I whisper, my emotion having stolen my voice. "Ren, I'm sorry. You won't talk to me about it. I want to talk to you, try to explain. But whatever happens, even if we don't ever talk about it, I'll always be here for you. When you need something, anything, call me." "You got a woman pregnant." I say it calmly, as flatly as the detective. I'm proud of the tone my voice carries. I sound strong, unaffected. He probably knows I'm not, but I don't care. "I told you she wasn't pregnant. She was lying." He locks eyes on me, a silent plea, an unspoken, "I am so sorry." I turn away, reaching around for the remote, turning on the television. "Oh, well, then perhaps I owe you an apology on that account. She lied about being pregnant. I assume the fact that you came inside her is forgivable then." He looks toward the ceiling, muttering something I can't make out before saying, "Don't be a smartass. Don't be a smartass." "I have every right. Why are you here? I don't need you." "Well, I'm not leaving." He sets his eyes on the screen as I flip through bad hospital cable. "And if you think you're going home to that apartment alone, you're insane." I stare at him, but he doesn't look at me. I could argue, tell him he can't tell me what to do, but my head aches and I'm too tired, so I lie back and settle on an episode of Friends. When my phone rings, I'm mostly asleep. I barely stir as I hear the dreamy voice of Ricky answering, telling them I'm asleep. Then my eyes pop open, wide awake. "Why did you answer my phone?" He turns to me. "Why are you on probation?" I swallow. Well, the cat's out of the bag now. Isn't that just peachy? I ask you first. I ask you first. I cross over my arms. How long was I asleep? I grab the phone, realizing it's almost 7 in the evening. I didn't know it was off limits. Your turn. You can't expect me to believe that one of your buddies didn't call you when got arrested, that you didn't go into work the next day and get an earful from 10 people about how your drunk wife was busted for DWI. You know exactly why. And that leads me to believe that you laid there in bed after they called you, knowing I was in jail, and just rolled over and went back to sleep. You didn't do a damn thing. So don't stand there all high and mighty thinking you're going to fool me into feeling like you're catching me at something. I crossed my arms over my chest with finality. I don't know when you quit the department, but it sure as shit wasn't that day. I just left. He just stares, unwavering. I can't tell if it's accusing or not. It's not the type to go. I'm not the type to go out drinking and then drive. Way out of my character. Internally, I debate between stubbornly remaining silent and pretending as if his actions didn't devastate me to the point that it changed who I was. Even if for a moment, and just giving in and telling the truth. Opening the door to that conversation isn't something that sounds good to me right now, so I opt for silence and indignation instead. He sighs long and loud. Look, I get it. I know what I did was bad. Worse than bad, but please don't. I'm tired and I can't do this right now. My voice is hushed. I'm in the hospital, for God's sake. A flicker of shame crosses his eyes before he looks back at the TV and leaves it alone. I release a breath, half wishing he would go home and half happy not to be here alone. I know that eventually we will have to talk, but not now. I fall asleep, but there isn't much rest in it. I get woken up by nurses, by my own strangely vivid dreams, and the dull throb in my head. Ricky sleeps on a chair that pulls out into a bed with a flat hospital pillow under one of those thin blue blankets. He snores lightly, and the sound confuses my soul. I never realized how it used to lull me to sleep until I had to learn to sleep without it. Now it gives me a twisted peace, as if it's something I've been missing. He's just familiar. Ricky can't be my home. If he was, he wouldn't have done what he did. Morning comes along with breakfast. Right after the nurse shows up with a meal, Ricky returns from the deli on the corner with food and coffee just how I like it. Thanks. I mean it. He nods, sitting down without saying anything. The morning drags as we wait for an update from the doctor. I'm surprised Ricky remains by my side, at one point calling his boss and stepping into the hallway to explain what's going on. He tells me that he'll stay as long as he needs to and he won't hear an argument. I don't know how to feel. It doesn't help when a doctor and a nurse come in rolling a cart. They look at Ricky with solemn, uncomfortable eyes. To perform an exam, can you? Ricky stands up. Sure. I'll go get some coffee or something. He looks back at me but leaves without saying another word. I'm Dr. Sharma and this is Nurse Day. The police have ordered a forensic sexual assault exam. We're here to perform the exam and take evidence. I nod, not sure what else to do. It's not really a time for conversation. They go over every inch of me, swabbing my mouth, combing my hair, and taking the loose ones into a bag. Anything that falls on the collection drape they placed under me is collected. I'm poked and prodded within an inch of my life. The whole process is embarrassing, invasive, and humiliating. You have some minor tearing in your vaginal canal. It looks new, so I would say this is fresh and not from the first assault that the police mentioned in their evidence request. I would take it easy, avoid any further sexual activity for a few weeks to allow it to heal. Dr. Sharma says, cover me back up. The exam is complete. You did well considering the circumstances. The police will collect the evidence. Okay, thanks. Yay, thanks for violating me so completely and politely. Thanks for confirming the fact that I was raped again. This is bullshit. No woman should have to deal with this. They file out, and I'm left alone with my emotions once again. I turn toward the hospital TV and sing. Alrighty. So who's doing it? What's going on? I mean, this is good. This is kind of made for television stuff here. What you guys think? Well, hello, Jackie. How is you? It is good, isn't it? Alrighty. So I know that it's not on KU, and I want to say it's $3.99. Is there somebody here representing? Yeah, Rachel's here. Hi, Rachel. Can you tell us how much it is and all that good stuff? I mean, I probably can, maybe, unless you can get to it faster than I can. Come on. All righty. Okay. I don't have it, but all the links and stuff are in the nook and the stuff that Nina's been sharing all day. So just go in the nook and look for everything. Tomorrow night is Last Man Out by Isabella Adams. So come back for another new to us author. Whoop whoop. Alrighty. You ladies have a great evening. I know you need to get it, Jackie, and find out what happens. I just hope I can sleep tonight. When I do the man voice, my man voice has been creaky today. Alrighty. You ladies have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Happy reading.